A retail roundup with that cola story on the way next. You know who I saw, and Big had a message for you. This is somewhat related to retail. I was at the motorcycle dealership, Cox's Harley Davidson, on Saturday. Now, this goes back to a story that was told 15 years ago. A woman once came up to me at an event and stood next to me until I gave her every prize on the table.
Absolutely. We all know it well.
You know this story very well. She's a very thin, small woman. And she came up to me. At that time, we had T-shirts, bumper stickers, can huggers, and a Joan Jett CD. Remember that?
How could you forget?
And NASCAR tickets to give away.
Yeah. She loved NASCAR.
That was her big thing.
That was usually her big
She was
draw.
going to clean you out.
That's right. So she came up to me. She spun our wheel. You had to spin the wheel for any of those prizes. She lost. This was 15 years ago. And she said to me, I would do anything for those NASCAR tickets. And she just stood. And I don't know what it is about the power that she had over me.
Because you have sent small children,
Yes.
the elderly, the
Yes.
infirm, packing. One spin a day, mister. Move it.
But but something about her eyes. I don't know. She'd come up right next to me and continue. She never left. And she'd say, I would do anything.
Never raised her voice?
Never raised her voice for those NASCAR tickets. So finally, I just said, take them.
She just stood there and smoked.
Take them. So she stood and smoked, and I gave her the NASCAR ticket.
Here.
Thinking that was it.
And every series of NASCAR. Truck series.
All of it.
Xfinity series.
All of it.
Main series.
Yes.
She took it all.
Yes.
You were her family vacation.
That's right. 5 minutes later, she said, I would do anything for that extra large, two guys named Chris T-shirt.
Sweetheart, you're an extra small if I ever saw one.
For her husband. For her old man. I don't know if they're married. She says, for my old man. On and on. I said, I can't. I've already.
She doesn't know if they're married.
I said, no. I said, I've already given you the NASCAR tickets. I would do anything. She, yes, I gave her the T-shirt. Then I gave her one in her size. Then I gave her the can hugger. Then I gave her the bumper sticker. And then finally, at the end of the day, the Joan Jett CD. You know that this happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this was 15 years ago. Many people ask me to this day, whatever happened to that woman? About 6 months ago, somehow we were discussing her, and Biggie said, I think the COVID got to her. I think.
Well, we haven't seen her
We haven't
since.
seen her in a while.
No, that's true.
Okay.
And much like myself, she was prime pickings.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Biggie said, don't you think the COVID probably got her? And we were like, maybe. It's possible. Well, guess who appeared on Saturday?
No.
My God.
That's right. There was a long line at the wheel at the Harley Davidson dealership.
Good prizes?
Here's what we had. T-shirt.
Okay.
Sizes?
All. We had
Okay.
2XL, XL, large, small.
Okay.
All right, we had them all. We had T-shirts, we had bumper stickers, we had can huggers, and season 1 of Landman on DVD.
Great show.
Okay.
Great show.
So
Did the bikers part?
they parted, and there she was.
And then she made eye contact with you? There she was?
Yes.
All 4'8" of her?
That's right. There she was.
Boo!
And
You said I was dead.
Tell the fat one I ain't dead.
that's what she said. That was the first thing she said. Tell him I ain't dead.
I'll see him in his dreams.
That's right. Well, she is very much still alive. And as she walked up, she just gave me a look. She did not touch the wheel. And I turned to our promotions assistant, Brad, and I said, give her one of everything on the table.
Brett, you're not going to believe this, but
I said, give
I
her.
have no control over this woman.
I said,
Get her a gift bag.
I said, give her
Yeah.
everything. And Brad said,
I'll co-sign on a Harley for her.
Give her the keys to the station van. Don't ask.
give it to her. And Brad said, boss man, are you sure? I said, yes. I said, give her every size T-shirt.
I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
Yeah.
He said, even the Landman DVD. I said, give it
Yeah.
all. And so she packed up all her belongings.
Nobody even has a DVD player anymore. I bet she does.
She walked away, and that was that.
That was it.
That was it. She told me to relay the message to you. She is not dead, that COVID didn't get her, and she got and she did not touch the wheel. And I said, give her everything. And then others came up and said, what's going on with her? And I said, just spin the wheel, try to win it. Let's just don't ask any questions.
I bet a few of them recognize the legend.
Well, it's possible.
Well, I'm sure plenty of people have heard the legend.
Oh,
but
yeah.
To see her.
She
see her
is
in the
legendary.
flesh.
To see her out there, I hadn't seen her in a while.
No.
And she looked good.
Same?
Same.
Same driver?
Yes, all same.
Did you ask her if she still had that giant leprechaun hat she only wears on St. Patrick's Day?
No. The only conversation we had was, I'm not dead. Give her everything. You should have seen the befuddled Brad who was like, I don't know.
He's new.
He's new. He's only been with us.
Just give her every size of shirt, man.
Give her every one. Every single size
We're
shirt.
clothing her whole family.
I said, I want it all, and she gets all of it. And she got it. And then there was no reason for her to come back around. But as she left, she just turned to me and pointed and like, I'll be back. She'll be back at some point.
Well, we don't get the race tickets like we used to. I'm sure she was hunting for those.
Well, then she said, can you give me a Harley Davidson? And I said,
I'll check.
if it was within my power, I would. Of course, I would give you a Harley Davidson. But I regrettably did not have. They're not mine to give away.
Well, I'm glad to hear that she's
still with us.
kicking.
She's still with. Meanwhile, another guy, complete opposite now. I've encountered the opposite of this woman. He came up 15 minutes to go in the event, and he had a look on his face. Now, the setup is a table, a tent, some prizes, and a spinning wheel. And you spin it, and you land on the word win for free, you get the prize. So he came up to me, and he goes, what's all this crap?
Hello.
Now, if you've done these events before or
Yes,
been to
yes.
them, that is just a variation. It's a kind of a crude variation.
Yeah.
But basically, everyone has the same question.
What's going on?
What y'all got going on here?
How much this cost?
What's all this crap?
How do I win?
I said, I'm glad you asked me on this fine Saturday. You spin the wheel, one free spin. If you land on the word win, I'll give you anything on the
Step
table.
right up,
Good
son.
luck. He goes, what does it cost? Nothing.
Nothing's free.
Nothing. He goes, don't cost nothing. He goes, you need my name? I said, no.
In fact, I'd prefer it not be given.
He said, do you need my phone number? I said, no.
Did he ask the do I spin left or right question?
He said, yes. He goes, do I?
Because the wheel is
Yeah.
unisex.
He was smoking a cigarette. Then others were behind him. He goes, y'all go ahead. Everybody else spun. Now he got the view of it. And the crowd dissipated. And I turned to him and I said, how about you, sir? One free spin? No, I don't need that. Crushed out his cigarette, walked away. Thought better of it. Never did spin the wheel. Complete opposite. Did not want. Very skeptical. He thought we were scamming him. He thought I wanted a number of some sort.
Yeah, Alex Jones told me about you all.
Yeah, he thought I wanted something. I didn't. I didn't want anything from him. Here's the retail roundup. Only 2 years after their launch, McDonald's has shut down all their CosMc locations. Remember those?
That was the place that just mostly coffees.
Yeah.
They were going, it was directly going after Starbucks.
Correct. Coffees and kind of exotic coffees. And
the line around the block at the first one in Chicago was
huge.
Hours,
huge,
right?
Huge, yes.
Day one.
And like they had it covered, like, what is this going to be?
Yeah.
And the word got out. It was going to be a CosMc. They had lattes, French toast drinks, all these different things. It started in December of 2023, and it's closing. All of them. They had branched out to a dozen locations nationwide, and they're all
I don't think I
gone.
ever saw one.
I don't either. They basically big cities. Chicago was the first, and never did catch on. Even though at first it was huge.
Yeah, I think it's just, McDonald's already does a coffee line.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, who's become a coffee cold brew drinker, prefers theirs above anybody else. But I think that they're never going to beat Starbucks at their own game. I mean, Starbucks is so set in.
Even though
with an independent location.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that McDonald's has cold brew. It's a nice option. But to me, they're never going to go after the full Starbucks.
And I do know a lot of
menu.
people. My wife says McDonald's has the best coffee there is. I mean, and Dunkin' Donuts. She likes both of those much better than Starbucks. And so they have that, of course, going for them. But there's no need, or it's not going to work.
That's just it. Yeah.
I know you said earlier too. Just one quick note about the news item you've got there. You said they had French toast drinks. Is it French roast?
No, it's French toast flavored coffee.
Yeah.
It's French toast latte.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's every flavor of coffee out there now you could imagine.
I'm sure they do have a French roast, but some of their items were
Okay.
French toast flavored latte. And so they basically marketed themselves as these exotic flavors, and then it didn't take off.
All those CosMc baristas out of work.
Out of work.
Yeah.
The soda wars, which we've been talking about, I guess it's 1989. That's Billy Joel and his dramatic ending to We Didn't Start the Fire. Rock and Roller Cola Wars. That's what sent him over the edge.
Yeah. The entirety of the previous 40 years.
That's right.
World Wars, Korean Wars.
But
assassinations. But finally, Coke versus Pepsi. I just can't take it.
New data from last year. Coca-Cola remains the best-selling soda in America.
Still.
Number one.
Overall.
Best-selling.
This is fountains in retail?
Yes. Best-selling soda in America, Coca-Cola. Second place. Now, this is the second year in a row Dr. Pepper has come in second place. All right. Last year, they knocked Pepsi down to third. All right. So forever, it was Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
Last year, a year ago, Dr. Pepper, it became Coke, Dr. Pepper, then Pepsi. Now it's Coke, Dr. Pepper, third place, Sprite.
Okay.
Fourth place, Pepsi. What do they need to do at Pepsi to get back?
I don't know if there is anything. I mean, they like everyone else has tried different flavors of Pepsi, Pepsi Zero, all this.
Why are they dropping?
I think the others are just gaining in popularity.
Why?
Dr. Pepper is suddenly become like the it drink.
Mm-hmm.
It really has. And they're making these dirty Dr. Peppers where people mix in, other flavors. And I think Dr. Pepper's just been creeping up for years. Now, Dr. Pepper has always kind of stayed independent, too, which is really impressive to me.
But Sprite.
But that's not enough because...
But teenagers love Sprite.
Okay. All right.
Teens, young people love Sprite. And Sprite is just always it's kind of pushed its way into something that just young people, I think, you just grow up going, yeah, I want a Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
When I go through the grocery stores, and this is all completely anecdotal. There's no basis. There's no scientific basis. But if you look at what's in people's carts, and we all do, I mean, I see way more Diet Cokes going out the door than Coca-Cola.
I do too. But Coke remains number one, and Diet Coke is not in the top four. It's. I bet it's probably fifth.
Yeah.
I just saw
I'm
the top four.
shocked.
Yeah, I am too.
The Diet Coke is not ahead of Sprite.
Sprite and Dr. Pepper, I think, for the Gen Z is very, very popular.
I am surprised also. I see a ton of Diet Coke being moved. I mean, it still does well, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But Sprite, if I were at Pepsi, I'd have concern. Because for a million years, it was Coke and Pepsi. Coke and Pepsi, Coke and Pepsi. Now it's Coke, Dr. Pepper, and Sprite, and then Pepsi?
Yeah, better not.
Yeah.
If that story moves up,
man,
I'll know something.
You got to... I think Pepsi needs a new marketing campaign. I mean, something.
I don't think you're going to get young people to it, though. I think Coke, honestly, it's still number one because it's still embraced by the older generation.
So Pepsi. So if you're the CEO of Pepsi today and you say we've just slipped to fourth and we used to be firmly at second, what do you do? I would
you
start
after the olds or the youngs?
I'd go after the youngs. I'd go after
Billie Eilish. Pepsi tour?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, maybe you try to get some popular, artist or, everything now is so much social media driven. You go find some of these bloggers or whoever and start pushing.
Exactly.
But I just think it's younger generations seem to be going more towards that different flavor than the cola flavor.
Well, so Pepsi then could they say, here's what I mix my Pepsi with, like Dr. Pepper has done, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying that.
Maybe that's what they ought to do, come up with something like that. Now, the number one beverage that is sold in a bottle or can, number one selling bottled or canned beverage is
Red Bull?
Water.
Oh, good old water.
Water is number one. Second place is soda. Third place, juice drinks. Then ready-to-drink tea, then sports drink, then energy drinks, just as a category. So it's water, then the Coca-Colas of the world, carbonated soda, juice drinks, ready-to-drink teas, sports drink, energy drink, and ready-to-drink. The last one is ready-to-drink coffee, the cold coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Seventh place, as far as the categories go. But water, Boy, they got us when they started bottling the water. You know, that as you know. I mean, that's an old joke, but it's really true.
And now these hydration drinks have come along with water. It's water, but it's like, and especially these like hydration packets where there's this weird kick where it's like, I got to stay hydrated all day long. So it's like these liquid IVs, these other things.
Oh,
you know.
yeah, those are big too.
Yes, exactly. It started kind of as liquid IV started as, hey, have one of these after you drink all night. It's going to help your hangover. Now we've had this weird shift to just, especially again, Gen Z people love to have like, I got to stay hydrated all day. My water needs to be amped up.
A lot of my pickle pals will do a liquid IV or something like it, you know. Well, we have to stay hydrated.
Oh, yeah, sport like that.
During the matches, you have to stay hydrated. You need plenty of, you get your electrolytes and so forth in there too.
Yeah, the word electrolytes has become giant.
It's a big deal.
Yes. Once again, proving Idiocracy, the movie, was right about everything.
It's a big deal. A lot of pickle pals will take one brand at the beginning and one brand in the middle of our play.
Yeah.
So you can get hydration at the beginning and then salts toward the middle.
Do they eat a big dill pickle? Pickles are in everything now. People are cramming pickles into everything.
Even pickles themselves, right? Or pickle juice stops your cramping, all of those kinds of things. This is the first time, this is Retail Roundup. Nutella is changing, adding a new flavor for the first time in 60 years. Nutella peanut butter will hit stores next year. This is not the hazelnut that they usually go. That's all they've had forever. Now they're doing a Nutella brand peanut butter. Why not? I mean, it goes right along with what they've got. I imagine they've just made that decision to do it, and it'll probably be successful just because the brand has become so big, especially in Europe. I mean, they love
Yeah,
Nutella
but do they like peanut butter?
I don't know. Do Europeans?
I don't know.
Are they not as big on peanut butter as we are? That might sell better here.
Yeah.
In the United States. But they've decided for the first time to do that. I don't know what the number one overall selling water is. They didn't break it down that much. It's the number one selling drink, water itself. But I'm not sure if I'll bet it's
like Smart Water.
What's the Coke? What's the Coke?
Dasani
or Aquafina? One or the other.
Yeah.
Those are the names, the brand names, I guess, that are the biggest. But who knows?